Welcome one. Welcome all. And yes, we had a fun Sunday here at Run Pure Sports. A little bit of drama in the NASCAR streets. We had F1 this morning. We had soccer this morning. We have a full just slate of sports as well. And Kurt, what starts tomorrow? I can't seem to think of what sport starts tomorrow here that is always grinded at RPS.
Cricket.
Cricket. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I would focus.
Oh, it's basketball, baby.
Yes,
Best
sir.
time of the year.
Boynton does a great job with the content. I know that we get, obviously you're involved in there too. You have Captain who helps out with projections as well. College basketball starting tomorrow will be a lot of fun. RPS 15% off your first purchase here at Run Pure Sports. But Kurt, more importantly, we have a slate tonight that is honestly not bad on paper. Like when I see the Colts, I tend to think of fun games that you want to target the other team on. And also the Vikings are vulnerable in the sense of being a pass funnel. So with the big news, obviously, if you haven't been paying too much attention to either team, you have TJ Hawkinson coming back for the Vikings. He's fresh off injured reserve after tearing his ACL last year. He will be a full go is what it sounds like. I'll believe it when I see it. I still think he's going to have slight limitations. But also the Colts benching Anthony Richardson for Joe Flacco. So yes, the year is 2024, and we are still looking at Joe Flacco as the guy that we really want in charge quarterbacking this Colts team here, Kurt. First off, how was your Sunday? And second, how are you viewing the slate? Great job. I promise I don't mute you.
Dude, I didn't do that.
It's probably the show intro. It always mutes you.
What's Seattle doing? It honestly wasn't a bad Sunday. It was pretty decent. Of course, as always, my best lineup, I think, had Olave or London or one of the two. So, I mean, it happens. But a couple of lines were able to recover. Bo Nix was kind of clutch. Oh, my God, Seattle. Holy crap. This is going to be an awesome final drive. But tonight, so if Anthony Richardson was starting, I think it would have been a really kind of a gross game because the Vikings secondary, or the Vikings whole defensive scheme would have had him like discombobulated. So I'm kind of glad they're putting the veteran back there. I think it's going to make for a really fun game for us. We got the pass funnel defense and the Vikings. That should be fun because Flacco is under center. And then we got two really strong running backs. So there should be a lot of options. And I like that. And there's not really that condensed it's somewhat condensed. The Colts receivers are kind of frustrating, but it makes for some fun plays in Showdown.
Yeah, it definitely creates for some fun environments here. Just to break down snap counts and stuff, because, I was looking at it. Week 8, last week, the 3 top routes for the Colts were Pittman, Downs, Pierce, as we would all know. Jonathan Taylor ran 21 routes, but then it was like A.D. Mitchell who ran 10 routes. Granson, 9. Will Mallory, 9. So you don't really know who's going to step up, in a sense, for these Colts outside those top 3 guys receiving-wise. Then in week 6, if you want to look at the last time maybe Flacco started, who benefited, who didn't. Well, Josh Downs led the team in targets with 9. Pittman only had 5. Jonathan Taylor was out for this one, but he also looked for the tight ends. Ogletree and Mo Alley-Cox and Kylan Granson had a combined, and Will Mallory as well. 8 targets, and they turned that into, I think, 7 catches. I think if I'm right. 6 catches on 8 targets for the tight ends combined. The major thing about the Colts, we're just going to go ahead and just get this out of the way early. They rotate all their tight ends. So what I'm looking at, Kurt, is very much a heavy stand on some of these tight ends here because I need the value, and that's one of the only value spots on this entire slate. As for the Vikings, like you said, there's 2 good running backs on this slate. You have Jonathan Taylor and the oft-injured Aaron Jones. We'll get to him in a little bit, but I do think that, attacking anyone against this Colts defense is going to be a good idea. So I won't hit on Aaron Jones at all. But Jonathan Taylor, I will give you pushback on him when we get there. Kurt, we're going to talk about quarterbacks first. Joe Flacco isn't much of a runner. Sam Darnold isn't much of a runner. Are you going to be captaining either one tonight? I think the answer is no, but I wanted to get your take there on it.
No, I won't be.
Yeah, and there's just not a whole lot of reason to captain either one when we have the skill players like Jefferson, Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, all those guys that we have who we know are going to get volume too. It's not a lack of volume at the top. We know who's going to get the football at the end of the day up top. If you're not captaining either one, which obviously you're not, I'm not either. Who do you prefer, Flacco or Darnold?
Probably Darnold. With Hawkinson back, Darnold. I'll go Darnold.
And the big thing about that, Kurt, I'm going to give you some stats. Both these teams rank in the bottom 25% in yards allowed given up through the passing game. The Vikings a little less surprising because when you win a lot of games, teams that tend to throw the ball against you a lot when you're leading, making up for a trail script in a sense. But the Colts as well, they're not great against the run or the pass, but they are in the bottom 25% here. Kurt, would it be surprising if I told you the Vikings give up the 30th most passing yards per game in the league?
No, they're a pass funnel.
They are. Explain that.
They're not going to let you run on them.
Yeah,
because you can explain more, but what do you want to give us?
You're giving me one sentence answers here. I'll expound.
I mean, Jesus, RUBIO, what do you want me to break down here? Keep it like it's basically like this day's version of the Tampa 2.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a sense. And not the Tampa 2 that you bring it up, but like for years, Tampa Bay was a great team, right? With under Brady and stuff. Like, they had, Vita Vea in the middle. It's not the same, right? I don't want to compare this Vikings defense to the Tampa Bay defense that actually won a Super Bowl and stuff in recent years, but they're third in the league against rushing. They only give up 83.9.
I thought you were going to give us like an in-depth, like a really detailed breakdown of the pass funnel. And no, I guess my one word, I mean, the team, like, they're not going to let you run on them. You make a lot more mistakes when you pass the ball, even if it's short, intermediate passing. They're not going to let you beat them over top, and they're not going to let you beat them on the run game. So where do you go? Intermediate throws. And they're just banking on these newer age quarterbacks that aren't able to do that because they're fucking idiots.
It's kind of a good point. I mean, I see a lot of people hating on the Colts for not giving Richardson enough time, but I don't know. I kind of agree with the decision for now. Who says you stop learning when you're on the bench as well? Richardson, you can make the case, he needs reps or whatever. At the end of the day, I think you're right about Flacco probably being the better fit for just this game alone. When I look at, captaining either one, right, we're both against that. I do prefer Darnold straight up over Flacco. However, I want to give you your take here. I want to get your take here. With Flacco, or with the Colts in general, if you're not playing Jonathan Taylor, your options kind of dwindle quick because then you're going to pay, what is it for Josh Downs here? $8K for Josh Downs, $7.8K for Michael Pittman. And then, running back wise, you're spending $10.6 for Jonathan Taylor at the top here, Kurt. So if you're not playing Flacco, are you going to go one of his receivers? Or are you going to go Jonathan Taylor? Like, what's the move there if you're not playing Flacco, or are you playing both quarterbacks?
You could go Taylor and a kicker, or Taylor and a receiver, or receiver and a kicker, and just hope that big old trailing script and Minnesota gets out quick, and it's just one guy getting peppered all day, which is probably in that sense. It's not really been Pittman this year, but if they were down, like one guy was getting a shit ton of catches, my money would be on that it's Pittman, but I don't know. It could be Downs now from the slot.
Yeah, and it could be Downs from the slot too, as we just got word. Yeah. Oh, man. Smith and Jigba with the touchdown there, and I'm kind of pissed off that Seattle did not go for two. I'm actually really pissed off about that.
Why?
I'm teetering on the mid. I didn't realize that drive so much. I am teetering hard on the mid cash for single entries right now. It would have been very nice to have someone go for two in that situation, but we move. But yes, so from the slot, just kind of give you a perspective here. Vikings are, like I said, vulnerable in the slot, vulnerable against wide receivers out wide in general. The Colts are very vulnerable against wide receivers out wide, which we'll get to in a minute, with Justin Jefferson being the main dog. When you look at who's running the slot for the Colts, you were right. In week 6, Josh Downs had 18 routes from the slot, had 5 catches. Pittman had 10 routes from the slot, only 1 catch. You look at last week as well. A lot of this really is just Josh Downs being in the slot. He's their main slot guy, like you said. That matters for the reason being of, the Vikings being leaky a little bit against wide receivers in general, but also the slot. Kurt, running backs wise, Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, who interests you more?
Man, I'm going to have so much Jones tonight. He's my favorite captain. He's just involved in the passing game. The Colts are a run funnel. Which mostly just means they suck ass against the run. It's not really on purpose, but we call it a run funnel because you can run all over them. They're going to be, it's a good script for him, and they're going to be playing from in front. Am I sweating? No, I think it's just me eating the Starburst. But yeah, I love Aaron Jones, my favorite captain. I think he gets off tonight. First touchdown, Aaron Jones, yada, yada, yada. I don't know how I feel about playing both. I'm not really built yet. I like to do that when Rubio starts talking around 750-ish, maybe. But how do you feel about playing both?
I hate playing both because I don't like Jonathan.
I do too.
I don't like
Really?
Jonathan Taylor. I don't, because look,
It's a bad matchup for sure.
It's a terrible matchup, right?
I think I'm talking about like 20 max stuff. Like, if you're just playing 3 builds, I can see fading him.
Here's the thing with Jonathan Taylor, though, and this is what the Sims are going to say, right? Like, look, he is a good play if you're trying to get leverage on the field. A lot of people are going to want to go Flacco, right? Because they see the ownership and stuff. Flacco, being a lower owned than Jonathan Taylor, like, look, I get that Jonathan Taylor's going to have all the volume on his side. I get that. I don't like it. And the reason being, if he gets into the end zone, stomps on me a little bit, that's fine. But at the end of the day, I prefer Jefferson. I prefer Aaron Jones. I prefer going against the Colts rather than against this Vikings defense. I'll take my chances on a guy like Joe Flacco a little bit more than a guy like Jonathan Taylor. I just do. Yeah, and that's going to make me lean toward Aaron Jones, who might be my favorite captain here, Kurt. And there's also
copycat.
I mean, it's true, right? Like, yeah. I also want to bring this up too because I didn't really mention it. You have both quarterbacks. You know, what is it? 10K, right? 9.8 and 10K. That's really expensive for quarterbacks on this season, right? Like, we haven't seen too many guys above 10K or around 10K for the most part. The path to getting both quarterbacks means you got to make a fade somewhere, right? And the fade for me is Jonathan Taylor. The fade for me is maybe trying to just pinpoint one of these fluke tight ends where, Will Mallory played a lot. Maybe I go him, right? Like, maybe that's the path there too. We just saw the inactives for the Colts too. It's worth noting that really there was no notable inactives on either side, really. Will Mallory being mid-price could be the guy who kind of opens up the slate for me, allows me to get both quarterbacks. And that's a route that I really want to do because I don't think a lot of people really want to trust it. And that's the way I'm thinking. It's going to require me being really low on Jonathan Taylor, really high on Aaron Jones, and then kind of attacking other places here, Kurt. When you talk about captaining a guy, like, you said Aaron Jones is your favorite captain overall as well. What's it take? Like, what's it going to take for Aaron Jones to be in the winner as the captain? Because, and I got to ask this too, because I think everyone's going to have the same thing. What if he gets hurt again? All right. Like, is that in the back of your mind at all?
You can't play like that.
You can't. You cannot.
I mean, if he gets hurt again, if you really think that's going to happen, then play Ty Chandler. You get extreme leverage on the field.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. I don't know. I question just getting that little bit of leverage. Like, he's higher owned than Joe Flacco. I would have expected those ownerships to be reversed. I would have expected.
Okay, so let's say he gets hurt let's say he gets hurt. Let's say he plays the whole first half, doesn't play the second half. What's Chandler's price? I mean, then you better play Chandler because, he's still going to have a great matchup.
The reason why I bring up the injury too is because our guy,
who's the backup? It's Ty Chandler, right?
Yeah. Ty Chandler. You also have Cam Akers in the mix there too. Third and Schlong just won $300K by playing Garendo, right, with Jordan Mason's injury history, and I won't surprise me at all if he likes, if he likes Ty Chandler a little bit today, which he does. He's even with the field on Ty Chandler. He likes Mo Alley Cox. This is Third and Schlong's rankings as well. So Bryce, obviously having a $400K week last week, his rankings are up on the Run Pure Sports website as well. And his favorite captain, his two favorite captains are Jefferson and Jones. That's the last bit of info I'll give. But I mean, I have it in the back of my mind, Kurt, because the last time I had a really good lineup with Aaron Jones and he got hurt. And like, you're just thinking about how would you get leverage off that? It would be Ty Chandler, and it would be at 2,800 or 2,600. I'm going to make the argument here too, because I do want this to be known. Can you play Ty Chandler with Aaron Jones? And the reason is value sucks, right? Mm-hmm. So like, let me get there, right? Value is terrible. Really, A.D. Mitchell is one of the best value plays, and he barely runs 15 rounds a game, right? And it's tough because we both love A.D. Mitchell. We know how talented he is. He's going to be the most popular guy. Ty Chandler is probably guaranteed even more of a role, right? Like, you would think about it. His projection is very similar as well to A.D. Mitchell. It's just a little bit lower. Can you play Mitch or can you play Chandler and Jones in the same lineup tonight?
I think you can.
Yeah.
I mean, just because the value is that bad, and this Colts defense is not good. Like, what if they're up 17 with 2 minutes left, and they just give Chandler some extra, some late work? he gets to like 5 or 6, maybe has two catches in the first half, a screen. I mean, the value is so bad where I think you can, like, I'm guessing the kickers are still priced up again. We had not got there yet. Yeah, the kickers are, I mean, about where they've been the past 4 or 5 weeks. So, yeah, I think it's fine. I don't have any issue with it.
So I'm going to go through.
Make sure you, I'm sorry, I would just make sure you kind of build towards like a Vikings kind of onslaught a little bit there.
So you make a good point about how much does he need to be in the winner, even with Aaron Jones in there, right? So a lot of people might look at that and be like, man, I'm not playing a backup running back with my guy. Like we said, value's horrible, right? You have not a whole lot going for you in the sense of I can't really play like a guy who's going to be guaranteed a role of like 40 snaps, right? And we usually have that. Today, we don't. Today, the third wide receiver for both teams, in a sense, is Jalen Naylor at 4K. And even then, Hawkinson back's going to just hurt him just slightly. He's actually number 1 ranked by both Mangone and Third Schlong. And then you also have Alec Pierce, who, again, he's been great this season, but he's 5,600. So you're not getting a guy who's just nutted at 4K or 3K who's going to play a bunch of snaps, be a great play. And that's where the challenge comes in on why a guy like Ty Chandler comes in and pops. I remember last year, our guy, JSU, I think won a slate by playing a defense and only had like 5 DK. And this kind of reminds me of this of the slate structure. Not exactly the same slate or anything like that, but you don't need a ton to find the winner, right? You look at let's go to week 8 here, snaps wise for the Minnesota Vikings. And it was literally just the Aaron Jones show. That is wild.
I'll tell you what, I mean, we're not a defense yet, but Vikings D is going to come preloaded with like 3 sacks today, probably maybe 4.
All right, you know what? We'll skip wide receivers then real quick, right? Because I want to stay in the same price range. The Vikings D is 5,200. That's not cheap, but like you said, they can make noise, right? They can force turnovers. You
can put them with Ty Chandler and Aaron Jones too, and run it 5-1.
Did Ty Chandler barely play last week?
I mean, it wasn't because Cam Akers either.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally Aaron Jones got fed the rock, and it wasn't anyone else who even had a touch there, a carry in that game. I don't know, Kurt. Kind of cooling a little bit on my guy Ty Chandler. We'll see. We'll circle back on that. We'll get to defenses later.
Well, that's why I said make sure it's like an onslaught, like play Vikings D, make it like a 5-1 basically. I mean, it's not crazy to think of this Vikings team. I don't think they do. I think I prefer it to be a good game, but I mean, it's in Minnesota. It's a pretty crazy environment. They got a good team this year. I'm sure they're going to show out. Flacco's been good for him, but it's still Joe Flacco, and it's still the Colts. Like, I mean, not that great. So I would just play him in the Vikings D and just major onslaughts. So defense, Vikings D has been awesome this year. They've been creating absolute havoc. Even Joe Flacco being a veteran, I still think they're going to be able to get some pressure on him. When you get pressure, a lot of stuff can happen, even when you're a veteran. So maybe we get a touchdown. A touchdown's definitely live. I don't know what their odds are, but it feels like a prime time at home touchdown for the Vikings D. Have they scored this year?
I don't know, but Kurt, yeah,
Ty Chandler 3 times this year.
Ty Chandler only played 2 snaps, just for what it's worth.
But that's so like Jones got everything.
Yep, Jones literally played everything. Yeah, that's why we like it.
Like, if you put Jones captain and you get similar-ish than the Vikings route.
Yeah.
But this goes to our Jones liking. I mean, there's a reason why we're so overweight on him. It's a good matchup, and he's playing every single snap. So you don't have to play Ty Chandler. But then listen to us and say, look, Aaron Jones is playing a shit ton. Eat the chalk.
Fair enough. Kurt, let's move on to wide receivers real quick, all right? Because I got this question here, right? First one, Josh Downs or Michael Pittman?
Southern accent for me. Johnny takes. One underbite. What were you saying? Sorry.
Josh Downs or Michael Pittman?
Oh, Josh Downs this year, man. Michael Pittman. Whew. Maybe this is the game for Michael Pittman, but it'll be at the expense of me. Pittman knew. God, I kind of like that narrative. He's been so ass this year.
He has not been good. That is for sure.
Do you have the slot numbers? How's Minnesota versus slot of the outside? Which one they prefer to give up?
Minnesota is one of the worst against outside wide receivers, and in terms of just yards allowed, and then bottom 20% against the slot. So they're weak against both. That's the big thing. The Colts are actually stronger against the slot, but they are one of the worst teams against wide receivers that line up out wide.
I still gonna go downs. Flacco's been loving downs. And I think the pass rush gets there. Slot's easier to find. Let me get downs.
All right, ownership wise, our guy Michael Pittman. Let's see his ownership right now. Would you expect it to be higher or lower than Downs?
Lower.
Expected to be lower. As of right now, Josh Downs is actually expected to be one of the most popular captain plays and the most popular utility play on the Colts roster. That shocks me. I like Downs a lot. I draft him a lot in best ball. I really like his game. I prefer Michael Pittman for that reason, Kurt. I look at the ownership. Is Josh Downs 2 times more likely to outscore to outscore Pittman? It just doesn't feel like that's the case. He's going to be
the short routes during blitzes. If they're blitzing, typically the slot receiver would get more of the looks than Pittman's on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I prefer Pittman. His ownership probably hovering around 40. Downs going to be hovering around 60 is what Saber's kind of telling me right now. Give me the guy who's done it before, done it for a long time, knows his quarterback for certain right now. A lot of people are going to be off. Taking Pittman over Downs tonight. And, that's fine. You can play both. Don't get me wrong. But I do like the leverage a little bit of Pittman a bit more. Kurt, Alec Pierce has been an absolute baller this season. I mean, what he has done on big plays is just – it sucks because I'm a big A.D. Mitchell guy, and A.D. Mitchell can't get on the field because Alec Pierce has been doing so well. What's your take on the 3rd and 4th wide receivers here for the Colts?
Pierce has benefited a lot from Anthony Richardson's absolute nuke of an arm. I mean, even with the way these teams are running these defenses today with the cover 2 high, it doesn't matter when Richardson has an absolute cannon, just throws it. And so I think Pierce has benefited from that. Flacco doesn't have much of a cannon. He can still get down the field a little bit. So if there's a deep play, Pierce is your guy. Not much of a Pierce guy. And also, like we talked about before the show, any 12 personnel, Pierce run the most routes because he's out there. He's the best blocker. So when they run 12 personnel and just one receiver, it is Pierce out there. So you got the benefit of that too on play action stuff, which once again, probably a deeper ball. I'll be under on him. Simple as that. And if he scores one of those long balls, I'll just lose. That's how it goes. It's not really much of a Pierce guy.
I'm with you. A.D. Mitchell being 3K, probably a little bit chalky as well. What's your interest level in him out of 10?
Him and Naylor are interesting to me as value.
Naylor's going to be very chalky.
Yeah, I mean, but I thought you just said Mitchell was going to be as well.
You know what? I'm wrong on Naylor. He's only projecting 12%. I would have expected 20. I don't know why.
This Mitchell, game, I'm not gonna lie. Like, to keep it a buck, these pass catchers in this game, like these other guys and the Colts tight ends, these wide receiver 3 and 4s, it's going to be really frustrating, to be honest. Like, so I just know someone's going to score that just tilts my ever-living face off.
All right, so tell me a little bit about the Vikings then. So we got Jalen Naylor, we got Justin Jefferson, we got Jordan Addison, and then we'll talk about the tight ends too in a minute. But I also wanted you to discuss TJ Hawkinson being back. How do you think that affects the offense?
I think it does take away from Naylor.
Yeah.
I think it takes some targets from Naylor, and Addison probably stays about the same. But I really just think it does take away. Like with the Naylor last year, who was their 3 last year?
Naylor was the 3. You also had not Tristan Jackson. You put me on the spot. Keep talking. I'll find it.
But anyways, whenever you notice that when Hawkinson did miss, it was the wide receiver 3's got the big bump. So I think it's really just a hit for Naylor, but he's cheap and he can score. So I don't think there's any reason to fade him just because Hawkinson's back. I'm a big Jordan Addison guy. I don't know why. Can't help it.
TJ Osborne and Brandon Powell.
Yeah, so Osborne would always get a boost when Hawkinson was out. So
yeah,
Naylor is the Osborne from this year. So if I'm going to bump him down a little bit production-wise, I think Hawkinson actually gets close to a full workload today.
So that's the thing. This is the coaching staff saying this. So Sylvester Payne, Kurt liked Pierce. I think Pierce is fine. Like, if you land on Pierce,
I don't like Pierce.
You thought he was fine, you just because.
Oh yeah, no. If you like that deep play guy, then Pierce is your guy.
Look, everyone down here. Hawkinson is rumored to say like he's got no limitations. He's good. He's great. That's what the coaching staff is saying. And using the Coach Speak Index, which I think is one of the best accounts. If you guys are serious about, wanting the coach's information, what they always say. Kevin O'Connell comes out. TJ Hawkinson will 100% be ready to go. No snap count. He's as good as he's looked at since he's gotten here, and that's saying something. Kurt, am I talking myself on the TJ Hawkinson too much, or is he gonna?
I thought you were doing, bro. I thought you were doing all that to be just like, but the whole time
I can't. I'm big on
here's
Coach.
The thing, like, just maybe keep him out on some of those those heavy run plays where he may not have all his power back or his strength back yet or some shit. He's not really had the reps in like a power run scheme. So
he's the wide receiver. He's going to get the second most targets in this Vikings offense, right? Like, we're not crazy to think that.
I love playing tight ends against the Colts too. It's been a thing of mine.
God, and that's the thing, Kurt. So I'm looking at it, and I'm sitting here on debate. I came into the show. I said, you know what? I'm going to fade TJ Hawkinson. I think he's limited. I might look at Oliver and Munt. I think they're okay plays. Then I just think about it. Right, I can see myself. It's 11:30. I lost money on the slate. I'm like, why didn't I click TJ Hawkinson at the cheapest price he's been in a long time? He's got no limitations. He was only 6,600. That's not much. It doesn't take much to get there. 6 for 60 is 12 fantasy points, and that can be good enough at 6,600. I'm buying in on TJ Hawkinson.
All right, let's go. I'm with it. I mean, he's so cheap. This is the cheapest he'll be all year.
Yeah. Christians, I'm going to get my core up here in just a second. If you can't tell, the TJ Hawkinson debate was very much around my core. Kurt, real quick, tight ends for the Colts are going to be a big talking point. You know why? Because there's a million of them. Mo Alley Cox, great name, great touchdown guy too. Red zone target. Drew Ogletree barely plays, but hey, he's serviceable. Kylan Granson. He pops up from time to time. And my favorite, Will Mallory. I don't know. I just look at these guys, Kurt. I like Mallory. Don't get me wrong. I should have mentioned that I was kind of being sarcastic there. I think Mallory is a decent play because he's going to run routes. He's a very skilled wide receiver or skilled tight end. He was great at Miami University as well, the U. What are you doing with this tight end room? Are you playing the tight end roulette with me in the Colts? Because look, my builds require a cheap guy, and my builds mean I need a tight end for the Colts.
So I was trying to look up and find the red zone targets for these tight ends.
The red zone targets are not something I can give you. However, I can give you week 8 snaps or routes. So for these guys, Ogletree in week 8. Hold on, I only had slot up. I was like, that's wrong. Ogletree ran 6 routes. Ashton Doolin ran 3. We didn't talk about him, but he's a serviceable punt play as well. Mo Alley Cox ran 6 routes. Will Mallory, 9 routes. Granson, 9 routes. Will Mallory led the tight ends in routes ran. And you know what? No one's clicking Will Mallory's name. Can you believe that? I mean 9 routes.
He's 200. I mean,
I like Will Mallory.
Demarcus Robinson walk-off. Oh.
Was it a Demarcus Robinson walk-off?
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
No, Tud. This guy's the GOAT, apparently.
The craziest thing about that is I have Jackson Smith and Jigba and Demarcus Robinson and one of the only high-stakes best ball teams I did, 5-5-5. So that was a good end of the game, at least.
Robinson's been going nut.
Kurt, my top team is Will Mallory. I gave him a projection of 1.1. It's got 4 Vikings. I love all these Vikings. But you know what?
I think I'm just saying, fuck it. I'm riding Will Mallory with you.
Give me Josh Downs captain, Kurt. Do I ride that? Do I contradict what I just said? Josh Downs captain. I could go Michael Pittman captain.
What are you having extra? I can't see that word, bro. I'm an idiot. God, I gotta start reading more. Exponential? Extra. I gotta read. I had to read a fucking book. God, I'm a clown. What's the word? Existential. I can't say that word anyways. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I just can't say that word. That's what you're having, though.
I'm looking at this lineup, right? I'll go ahead and give it away on the show. Josh Downs, captain. Will Mallory. And TJ Hawkinson. You can fill out the rest. It doesn't have both quarterbacks. It doesn't have Flacco. That's my only concern. But that's a really good build, Kurt. It's a really good build. I'm looking at it right now. You say you prefer Downs. Downs straight up. I'm already unique. Guess Will Mallory's projected ownership.
5%?
1%. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm shocked by that too. But yeah, that's kind of the spot we're in right now. I am going Will Mallory. I'm going Will Mallory. So tight ends for defense and kickers. Give your take on that. I'm going to put up my core on the Run Pure Sports website. Code RPS15, 15% off your first purchase here at Run Pure Sports.
Vikings D. I like both kickers as always. No Colts D for me.
Which kicker?
I like Richard, but Matt Gay.
Matt Gay. You're going. So okay. All right. Fits the brand.
Gosh.
Well, man, I'll make sure I put Field under you then. All right. I'll make sure. Oh, there you go. You already did it. I'm looking at Mallory, man. God, he's a slate winner. He's a slate winner. Will Mallory to the rescue. And you know what? If he gets zero fantasy points, it's fine. He was 200. This is my only concern. 619 is it doesn't have Joe Flacco, and I do like Joe Flacco a lot. But at the end of the day, I like the Vikings team a lot more than the Colts team. I get that exposure with Flacco, trying to hopefully he hits up Josh Downs instead. Yeah, I mean, all right. I'm okay with Richard. I'm okay with Matt Gay. I'm okay with the Vikings defense, like you said. The Colts is where I kind of draw the line at the same time. It is what it is. I'm not going to stress about that one too much. Mangone, the most on-brand thing today, a 4-2 underdog with the Let's Ride. There you go.
Nay.
He's out of Denver, and he's still giving the Russell Wilson Let Ride. I like it. All right. So Kurt, I just got a question in the Discord. That usually doesn't happen. Will Mallory, am I missing something with the Will Mallory play? Most routes on the Colts in the Colts tight end room last week. Unowned. Yeah. There we go. All right, ask questions. We'll be happy to answer them. We got 16 minutes until lock.
This build, bro. What is that? What is happening?
Should be
this
fun.
Shit stinks, cuz this showdown kind of sucks. No cap in my rap. This shit kind of stinks.
Kurt, I was 60 points out of advancing in the 555 earlier today in best ball. I am now in second, and I had Robinson at 27 and Jackson Smith and Jigba at 40, and I still got a running back spot completely empty with Jonathan Taylor tonight. So we're looking good in that one, baby. Whoa. Let's go. Vincent,
look what Tony just tweeted.
Pittman or Downs right now. So I already have Will Mallory, and Will Mallory's not going to be high on. TJ Hawkinson's looking a little under-owned as well. The leverage play is Michael Pittman. He is projected for about 20% less ownership than Josh Downs, and that's interesting to me. You look straight up, right? A lot of people are going to lean on Josh Downs. His projection is much better than Michael Pittman. I think it's about 3 points better. About 3 points better. 2 points better. My bad. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You can play both, Javon, but at the same time, like here's mine. Here's my problem. I'd rather have Flacco at that point if I'm playing both. And it's very tough to get both quarterbacks as is. It's very tough if you like this Vikings offense, which I do. Can you play Vikings D and Richard within the same lineup, Kurt? I think you can. I think you absolutely can, especially in an onslaught build. We already mentioned how value is really bad. Both those guys combined for what, 10K? That's a very fine route. What you're hoping for is a couple field goals and the Vikings to hold them. 8 to 10 fantasy points is good enough. We just saw it the other day too, where the defense was in the winner, and it wasn't even like you wouldn't even expect the defense to fully be guaranteed on that winner. I want to say it was Thursday night. Who played Thursday night, Kurt? Jets, right?
It was a good game. Jets Texans.
And the Jets defense was in the winner, and you didn't even feel like they had an insane game. They did get to the quarterback 8 times. I mean, that helps.
Which is what I think the Vikings can do today.
The Vikings can definitely do that today. Best play, under 4K. Well, if you're not talking Naylor, he'd be the best. But if you're going under Naylor, for me,
I'm going to go Mitchell. Fuck it. I'm riding with Tony.
It's a very thin line because it's AD Mitchell and everyone else. That's why I'm fully punting. That's genuinely why I'm fully punting. It's because...
Who would your YOLO captain be?
Will Mallory.
Your YOLO captain, brother.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, Kurt. Put Will Mallory at captain and tell me what you get.
Okay, I will. Hold on. Well, I said, what about Mitchell? Because what if Pierce gets hurt? Actually, Mitchell would. Gosh,
Mitchell would, I really like
Mitchell would go Mitchell's slot, right? But
if you're betting on talent. If you're betting on talent, your guy should be, it should be Mitchell. I mean, right? Like if you're betting on individual talent, Mitchell should shine at some point. He hasn't gotten a lot of chance to do it, but 3K, it's worth the risk. The optimal lineup will be duplicated a shit ton tonight.
Oh, that's a good lineup.
The Will Mallory captain.
Yeah. Oh, well, besides that part, everything else looks nice, and you're like, oh god,
you just block off the top there. It looks really good. Just don't pop the hood. It's got a Ferrari engine under there. Just a Timo Ferrari engine. Let's go ahead and do this. All right, Kurt. I'm kind of set in my ways. This is dangerous. I'm set in my ways on Will Mallory.
Will Mallory? You just gonna play 100% Will Mallory?
Here's the thing too. This is what led me to it. And like, if you're wondering, why Will Mallory and stuff, I wasn't that high on Hawk before the show. And I'm gonna trust Kevin O'Connell's take on TJ Hawkinson will be 100% ready. No snap count. Again, Coach Speak Index logs all this information. He does a great job. I'm sure he has a Patreon out there. It's very cheap. You can get all this access to Coach. Coach
Mitchell.
Coach Speak and stuff. And also earlier in the week, if TJ Hawkinson is out in the field, I don't see any limitations athletically. He's in great shape. We understand that football shape can be a little different. We'll evaluate him throughout this week in regard to workload. That was earlier. I'm going to play TJ Hawkinson at 6,600. I feel like I have the entire Vikings offense in that lineup. And yeah, I mean, that's the case for punting. Question time. Kurt, I just ran the contest sims.
And
it really likes Will Mallory.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I mean, because I bumped up a half point to 1.6 as well. It's 8% projection. It was really.
So wait, so they're saying if he gets one catch for like 10 yards, he's the nuts?
In a projected score build, yes. Yeah, in a full lineup though, you would definitely need way more than that. I think you would need a red zone target or two. But yeah, I do not get a Will Mallory captain.
I think I'm going 100% Hawkinson.
I like it. I really do. God, I still only have the Colts filtered. Aaron Jones is my top guy, as we discussed. Jefferson's actually my top captain. Hold on. That's surprising. Let's do this. All right. Jonathan Taylor and Will Mallory, or Josh Downs and A.D. Mitchell? Ooh, this one's for you, Kurt. I don't know. I kind of lean Will Mallory or Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I gotta go one.
And the reason why I lean that is I already flag planted freaking Will Mallory, so like I can't backtrack that now.
Can't
do it. But like also look, we're not high on Jonathan Taylor here. However, again, the reason why I'm punting is because I don't see anything below 4K really worth a damn. I'd rather spend 200. That's the reason why I'm punting. And A.D. Mitchell kind of fits into that thing of I'd rather just spend up for a stud than anything else. Josh Downs, though, I mean, his projection is very similar to Jonathan Taylor. Kurt, anything that you want to add? Any props that you were looking at for this game, maybe?
Jones rushing.
Aaron Jones rushing. What's the yards?
I don't know. I just gave it out to my little cousin earlier.
I just pictured
the 68, I think. 68 sound right?
68? That sounds low. That sounds really low. I would bet you my left nut that it's higher than 68.
86 then? I'm dyslexic.
You know what? I was caught dyslexic earlier today. I literally put the numbers there.
86?
It is 72. 71 and a half. No, that's Jonathan Taylor. 70 and a half. You were right. That's low.
68.
All right, let's build the same game parlay.
What? Give it to him.
Let's build a same game parlay. Aaron Jones rushing yards over, right?
Man, without an injury, we were
looking good last week. It just fell a little.
We had the injury. The freaking injury killed us.
Yeah, the injury did screw us.
God, Jordan Mason's such a cuck.
You're in charge of creating the same game parlay. How many snaps do you project Munt for? I have Munt and Oliver getting a slight knockdown, but I still see 20 snaps. How many routes that is? I mean, I wouldn't expect more than a dozen routes for those guys. And I feel like you're getting the same type of routes from the Colts tight ends who are a little bit cheaper. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at on Munt. I don't think he's a terrible click, though. I mean, there's plenty of those. Kurt, the slate would be easier if Anthony Richardson started, just the way they priced it.
Why? Oh, because you keep on 88?
Yeah.
I know. But would you play him? Would you be clicking on him?
Oh, I 100% would have clicked on him. Just because of the rushing upside. Would you play Aaron Jones over a quarterback? If so, then which QB? I think we were both on yes, and I would play him over Flacco because that's what I'm doing. Kurt?
Same. I'm okay with it. Honestly, the no quarterback lineups kind of look decent tonight. You notice that?
They don't look bad. More 3-3 or more 4-2? I have more 4-2s, Vincent. More 4-2s.
Yeah, I'm with that.
You about that.
About that life.
All right. 99 bottles of beer on the wall, Kurt. Let's see what it is. Let's see which one falls. I get a lot of 5-1s. Holy cow. You know what? And this is going to make Mangone upset. I don't have any 5-1 Colts.
Damn, I got a lot of.
All right. If you're 3-3, are you playing Mallory? I'm 4-2 Vikings, but I am playing Mallory. I can't. You can definitely play Mallory in a 3-3 though. Favorite single entry captain? Rez. I play single entries most of the time, including tonight. I like Josh Downs, but Aaron Jones is my favorite captain. If like raw points, I would go Aaron Jones, my top guy tonight.
I can't. I mean, bro, I can't. Is punting the way? I mean, I think you got to punt or go cheap captain. This is ridiculous.
So, Kurt, real quick,
I'm even trying to talk myself into like certain game scripts too, and like in my brain, bro, I don't think I took enough Adderall today.
All right. What's the same game parlay? Yeah, Kurt, you got to get on that same game parlay. Actually, I can get on it too. All right, Aaron Jones over.
Aaron Jones rushing.
You want to do a touchdown for Aaron Jones? What?
Josh Down receptions over. Don't give a fuck what it is.
All right, Josh Downs receptions over. Hold on. They just pulled props. Damn it.
Oh,
we got to wait. We got to wait. They just pulled props on this game, so we got to wait like 30 seconds. I don't know why. So we got to wait a second.
How many routes did AD Mitchell run last week?
10.
Well, they're gonna be from behind.
They are going to be fine. Yeah, hopefully. Jonathan Taylor or Flacco?
I mean, pricing doesn't matter. Give me Taylor.
5.5 catches for Josh Downs is minus 155. Kurt, would you rather do that or 62.5 yards for minus 120?
I think the catches, honestly.
You like the catches?
I usually don't. But just in this scheme, the Vikings are running. I think honestly, I think both are priced pretty appropriately where you probably don't play it. But if I had to pick one.
All right, we'll do receptions. Josh Downs receptions. All right, let me go ahead and upload my teams, and then we'll finalize this damn parlay. So I just got to upload real quick. Let me just go ahead and just run the contest sim again, just to be safe. All the props are kind of flashing on and off. Marie, done easy. Passing props. Anything you want to do with Flacco? Like, do you want to do 225 plus as a little sweetener?
Yeah.
All right, I like that. Receiving props. Anyone else? You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna do TJ Hawkinson over 3.5 catches. All right.
I like Aaron Jones over receiving, whatever it is. It's usually like 30-ish.
It is Aaron Jones. It's 20.
Yeah, I like it.
Would you rather do that or yeah? We'll do. Okay, so we're just high on Aaron Jones in general because I'm also doing his damn touchdown too. We're doing Aaron Jones to have himself a game.
That's right.
Aaron Jones touchdown. Aaron Jones 71.5 rushing yards. Aaron Jones 20.5 receiving yards. All overs. TJ Hawkinson over 3.5 receptions. Josh Downs over 5.5 receptions, and then our guy Joe Flacco 225 passing yards. I'll say that again here in just a second for y'all. You can use it. Sunday Night Football same game parlay boost minus 20%. We can do 50 to win 950. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go over it one more time as well. It is Aaron Jones, anytime touchdown score. Aaron Jones, 20.5 receiving yards over, 71.5 rushing yards over. TJ Hawkinson, 3.5 receptions over. Josh Downs, 5.5 receptions over. And then 225 plus passing yards for Joe Flacco. All right. So that parlay odds just went up too. You can get it plus 1,700, and that's without the boost there as well. It just went down to 1,600. But yeah, should be a good time. That is the parlay there. FanDuel MVP. Jettas or Aaron Jones? I am on Aaron Jones. I think you are too, Kurt.
Yep.
All right. I got to take a half second here. I got to make sure that this gets done. Kurt, take over. Any questions that come into the chat if you can.
FanDuel captain, Jetta or Jones? Give me Jones.
Jones.
Give me Jones. He got Jones.
All right. Jones. Boom, boom. What percentage is my laptop on? 3, so I'll be tilted if it dies mid-upload.
3-3 with no Jefferson. Yeah, you had to make some. I think you either punted or you made some tough decisions up top between Jones, Darnold, or Jefferson. It was not an easy build tonight. I think it was much easier just to kind of lean into the Vikings are going to route them.
Yep.
Which is not fun from a viewing perspective, but it's just much better to build that way.
All right, Kurt, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. Feeling great. Josh Downs tapped into the winner's circle, baby.
No injuries, please.
Oh, don't put that evil in the air. All right. You ever just type in a random letter for your CSV and it just pops up as already duplicated? All right, there we go. All right, first touchdown too. Right, we're already playing him in DFS.
Jones.
Will Mallory.
Oh,
110-1.
Oh my
50
God.
to win 5,500.
Can you imagine?
That's what we're doing. I just hit it. Will Mallory first head.
First head drive pivoted to 80 Mitchell.
Plus, I've never typed in a number this high before. Plus 1.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not viable. I genuinely think those odds are like a little bit steep. All right, and we're also going to throw in
Pride of Miami.
All right, we are very high on Will Mallory. All right, let's make sure that the
and
lineup,
80 Mitchell.
Yeah. All right, the lineup uploaded and everything. We're good. We're golden. All right. Thank y'all for watching again. For Kurt, for thank y'all for watching again. Have a great rest of y'all's night. Have a great Sunday. And hopefully this week goes well for you guys. And we have a lot of fun next week on the next show. Sunday Night Football should be a lot of fun there. I think we get a Thursday night game with Bengals and Ravens. Have a great rest of y'all's day. Bye-bye.